I only did embroidery once, and that was when I was at school, and this is what I made. Now I mostly do cross stitch, and this is what I take with me everywhere. It's got my pins, my needles, my scissors, a little tub where I can put all the cut-offs, my threaders, and I can use this whether I'm doing embroidery, which I've restarted again, or whether I do cross stitch. So everything's here quite handy. I've got some winders here, some bobbins, and any little bits and pieces I'm going to use for embroidery, magnets which are always quite useful, my threaders, and as I say, a little tub fits in nicely there for cuttings, some post-it notes for following patterns, and everything else I need. And in here you will see that I also keep, this is an old case for cassette tapes. I can put things in there as well if needs be, and this one can hold needles or pins. It also sits nicely in this drawer I found at a local dump that will be my embroidery drawer, and this is my embroidery only threads, all different sizes and colours and types for my new hobby again of embroidery. And everything fits nicely in here, marking pens for drawing designs and so on and so forth, all nicely in my brand new tub that is only for embroidery, not for my cross stitch. I want to keep the two completely separate, and you could see I can stack that on top of the drawer. Is how I store everything. My embroidery section and threads. So I think I've shown you already. This is a file I bought, and in here now I've got all my things that I've tested of embroidery. So I've got code numbers for the books, and I've gone through, and basically this is my file of patterns if I'm not sure what sort of pattern I want to use. It's not every single pattern I've got, but if I try out a pattern, I'm adding it in this file. So I've got reference to some of the patterns, and I've also marked in the book if I could do them or not. I've got a hoop still because I'm still got space on there to practice. So that's a folder of different stitches of embroidery. I've then also got all my embroidery books and sheets in here. Anything that tells me stitches, how to do them is in here. and my 3 new books, and I bought them with a donation from this Shoot Tourist channel, so go check Mr. Jimmy's channel out. So that's all stitches, and that's in the first tray, so again I can just pick that up if I want it. So in the first charity shop we went into, it was very well set out, very nicely organised, quite a small charity shop but really well set out, and they'd listed all the books as subjects, and I looked for sewing and no embroidery books there, but they had a section on embroidery. There was a really thick book, embroidery, and it said like encyclopedia, and I thought, oh, that's exactly what I want. But looking through it, it was quilting and patchwork, knitting, crocheting, and I thought, I don't need all that. And then I found this one, and this was €2, and this is really well done. This is basically needlepoint stitch by stitch, and it covers lots of different things, and this goes through different levels as well. So they've got beginner, intermediate and advanced, and tips, all sorts of things. I've been going through it. This is what I wanted, what the stitches look like when they're done, showing you like the graph, the chart and how to do them, and obviously information on how to actually do them. So that's the stitching glossary. There's quite a lot of that to go through. And then there's, as you saw from the index, there's tips and hints. I'll go through it in more detail in a video maybe. All different types of stitching, different things you can make using all the stitching, numbers, letters, actual projects as well, and showing you how to do all the stitches. So I was really pleased for that one. That is all stitching. I also found this one, Needlework, an introduction to the art of embroidery, fully illustrated in colour and black and white, and this was €1. And this one is accessories, looking after the work, general hints, patchwork, applique, which I actually was flicking through the book and I'm quite interested in doing that. Miscellaneous techniques, canvas, quilting, cutwork, smocking, stitches, etc. And again, good diagrams and how to do certain stitches, which is what I was looking for. Lots of stitches and how to do them. So that's perfect, and as I say, other things as well within the book. Different stitching guides, plans and projects, charts, all different types of stitching, embroidery, other such things. And the most favourite book of all I found, it was €1.50, a thinner book, and this is The Good Housekeeping Needlepoint, and this was exactly what I wanted. Most of the book is showing you the stitch, what materials are best to do the stitch on, how many threads and what type of thread to use, and what sort of canvas or material, and how to do the stitch. And this book is absolutely full of that. This is what I was looking for. This is my prize gem of all. Yes, you can look up on the internet, but you know, with my brain damage, I find it hard to absorb what's being said and just understand it. And even if I learnt how to do a stitch, if I don't keep doing it, I would forget how to do it. So I need book reference, and then I can go through this book. It's full of tips and things at the beginning, and how to do things. There's a lovely bit here of every type of yarn you can get, what it's for, if you can split it, and so on and so forth, and all the different types of canvas. Beautiful. So I got a lovely PayPal donation. No, it was a super chat donation. I got a lovely unexpected super chat donation from my friend Mr. Jimmy from the Astute Tourist channel, and I thought, he knows I'm suffering with lupus and other conditions, so I thought he would like it if I used the money for myself. Now I'm a bit more housebound and I need to rest a bit more, so I thought, if you would like, Mr. Jimmy, I would say I have got these embroidery books from your donation, and they will last me a lifetime of enjoying things to do. New embroidery, a new challenge for me, because I'm new to embroidery. I've always done cross stitch, but I'm doing my very first project of embroidery. So thank you to Mr. Jimmy from the Astute Tourist. This is what I've got from your donation. Under there is my embroidery thread. This is purely for embroidery that isn't cross stitch. It's all nicely laid out in there. It's got all different types in there, thick, thin, different types of yarn. There's even some wool type ones here that I had. There, these are thicker ones. These are my new ones that I've just got. These are thin ones. I bought these more because I like the bobbins and I want the bobbins. So I've sorted those out. They don't fit that way. They're too tall, so they're laid there. As you see, I've taken out sections. This crate that I bought, all these are removable, which was great because these wouldn't have fitted in otherwise. So I took this whole middle section out. They fit in there. It's all my different ones. These last ones are the ones with the kit I'm doing at the moment, so they're separate, so I know what came with the kit. So that's those. And then underneath this, that can sit on the top, because underneath this is the drawer that I found from the dump, and all my embroidery that I'm working on is in here. So that's where I'm up to on that. And then in here, this comes in and out depending on if I'm going to be doing embroidery or cross stitch, because this has all what I'm using. It's got pins in there, got the scissors in there. This is for when I cut the threads off, the needles. Got little tabs if I need them to mark a page in a book. All my threaders are in there. And as I say, scissors. And I've also got in here, I make these bobbins myself for my thread, and I keep a couple just to do a template. So they're for my threads. So if I'm doing cross stitch, I take this with me as well, and if I do embroidery, I've got that. And then for my embroidery as well, I've got the pen and pencils and a ruler. So that's for embroidery to mark out, and that's obviously the kit I'm doing at the moment, the box for that. So this is staying on the shelf. And then under that is all my other threads. Let me show you those.